Welcome to One-on-One with Expert Flyer. I'm your host, Lisa Kaslyn, and today we're talking about solo travel. Our guest is Brenda Mejia, and she is a solo world traveler and the author of a travel blog called Travelera.com. Thanks so much for joining us today, Brenda.
It's great for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're, at the throes of wrapping up 2016, and many of us are now thinking about 2017, and, New Year's resolutions are always a big part of that. And I know many people have a must-do list, and on that must-do list is travel. Everybody wants to travel more. But, it sounds great, but sometimes it's not so easy because, either you don't have a significant other, or maybe your friends are just not all that into travel like you are. So we wanted to talk to you about that because you are really a die-hard solo traveler, and we wanted to kind of get your perspective. So talk to us a little bit about when you started and why you started traveling by yourself, because you're still pretty young.
Yeah, well, I started traveling when I was 23. That was by 2013. And it was because of that. I didn't have any friends that were into traveling or just were interested in the same locations as I was. So I was like, you know what? I need to start doing this. I definitely, I can be, pretty self-sufficient. And I started traveling. I just bought my ticket and started having my adventures.
So you are a native of Puerto Rico. You currently live in Spain, but you're a native of Puerto Rico. So at that time, were you living in Puerto Rico then, or were you living someplace else?
Yeah, I was living in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Ricans are not really used to travel that much, or they are just traveling inside the U.S. because we don't have passport to just get there. And well, when I was like, well, I'm more into going to Europe or maybe South America, they were like, oh no, you're just crazy. And by myself then.
That's great. So what was the first destination? Where did you decide you were going to go for your big first trip alone?
My first trip alone, it was to Scandinavia. So
wow.
Yeah, it was Sweden, Denmark, and Norway.
Okay, that's a far cry from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think scares people the most about going it alone when they travel? What do you think is, really the most off-putting or intimidating thing?
Lack of confidence. Sometimes people just need to have someone else when they're like sitting in a table to just have a dinner. Same thing with traveling. You just need to have someone else by your side so you don't feel that awkward. And that's what happens. People is not used to be by themselves. They just start thinking and they are like, no way, it's scary.
Well, it is scary. So having said that, how does one, overcome that? Because that is, it really is a legitimate fear, especially if you've never done it before and you're going to a completely new place and a new culture. So how do you kind of put those apprehensions aside and go for it?
I think what helped me, it's that I'm an only child. So I was used to that since I was little. I didn't have any friends around or siblings. So when I grew up to that, but I think that when you're surrounded by people, it has to be a lot more complicated.
Okay. So what would you say are maybe some of the most unexpected or, pleasant surprises about traveling by yourself?
Best surprise that you find is the amount of people that you get to meet, the amount of friends that you get to meet. Sometimes you travel with and you don't get to meet so many people because you're just so focused on your group that you don't really get to talk to people. So when you're by yourself, you're forced to socialize. And that way you end up like earning friends for your whole life. You have friends everywhere around the world, and there you have like new places to visit every time.
You're more approachable when you're on your own, right? So you did recently blog about the downsides of traveling alone. So talk a little bit about that, because I know the good still outweighs the bad, but it's a reality. So what do you do to kind of circumvent those issues?
Well, the thing is that it became a routine for me because once I started, I just keep on doing it. I just travel by myself everywhere. And then I was like, wait, I need someone just to share this view I'm seeing right now, or I need someone just to share this meal, or to just have share what I'm my impressions.
Uh-huh.
That was why I decided to write this, because it was like I'm getting tired of this routine. And I mean, that's the hard part about it, that you just do it, and at the end it's like, well, I can share this. It's a little bit selfish when you think about it
Uh-huh.
sometimes, because like invite a friend, or maybe I should wait for people to just come around, but I will be missing experiences as well. That's the problem. You have to just weigh that out.
Okay, good advice. So what kind of research do you do before you decide on a destination that you want to go check out?
The first thing that you have to do is checking out if it's safe for a women traveling solo, because we're still living in that world that you are being seen like something weird because you're a girl and you're just being there solo. And it's really, really important to make sure if that place is safe for you. I mean, men are gonna come and they're gonna say their stupid things sometimes, because that happens everywhere. Sometimes it's cultural in some places, but it's just the fact of feeling that you're safe, that nothing bad is gonna happen. At least maybe not getting robbed, or not getting raped, or not getting killed in the worst case scenario.
So, well, how would you? Is there a site that you use in particular that would give you that information? How do you know
Not
off the bat?
really. I tried to just check out blogs from people that have been on these places, especially female bloggers. Then I get the first impression, and I think that's the most important when I travel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a blogger, and then that's why I became a blogger, because I was reading so many blogs that helped me out, that I thought that it was good to help others out as well.
Ah, very good. Okay, so let's just say somebody becomes enamored with this idea and decides to go for it in 2017. Assuming that the destination is safe, what's the next step that you take? How do you plan that trip on your own?
Well, after checking if it's safe, then I will just go to sites like Couchsurfing, for example, just to see what the locals are doing around, and see what activities I can find for, so I can get involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the first thing I will do. And then also checking what else I can see from the bloggers. What are the sightseeing, what I can learn from their culture, the food. And that way I just start like making my what I'm gonna do when I'm getting there. Even though I don't follow one itinerary, then I just have like some things planned just to see when I get there.
Uh-huh. What about places to stay? What about lodging? Do you tend to be like an Airbnb person? Do you stay in a traditional hotel? Is it a mix? How do you plan that? How do you decide?
Well, it all depends on the place. There are places that I'm more a hostel person. I try to do females only, but it's just because of just maybe safety, or maybe just I got used to go to these
Yeah.
dorms, or depending if it's the place doesn't have really good hostels, or they're not well ranked, then I would try Airbnb.
Okay. And hostels, how, I mean, is there an age limit on, your ability or acceptance into a hostel? Is it, are you precluded if you're over a certain age?
Not necessarily. There are hostels that those have like, there are others that don't. And I found out that you can have people 40s, 60s in hostels, and they have so much to share, and they're so happy that around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about, like, talk about going out to dinner? Because, like in the evening time, eating out dinner alone, that's tough. And, even going to a club or something like that. I mean, would you still do that by yourself? How do you handle that?
I do it. I mean, I don't know why, but I love eating by myself. I guess that's why I can travel solo. So it's like having a dinner just for me. And then for clubbing, couchsurfing as well. Couchsurfing just started a few months ago, and there's something called hangouts, couchsurfing hangouts, that you can find people around the area that it's just looking someone to grab a beer or just to club. And
Ah,
so many people just doing that, because at least that's what I've always said about couchsurfing. You can find people that have almost your same mindset,
uh-huh.
so you can actually click with people and have great conversations and good chemistry. And so this is a great tool for people who is traveling solo.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask you. That was going to be like my next question. Is there a way? Are there methods or sites for you to connect with others? And I didn't realize. I mean, couch surfing. I just know it as a place to kind of crash. You find a couch
Exactly.
literally to crash. But I didn't realize that it has basically turned into sort of this networking kind of.
Yeah, exactly. The mobile application have this thing called Hangouts, and then you can find people around your area. It's amazing.
Okay, so that's your go-to thing. So when you go to a destination, after you've kind of settled in, you go to couch surfing, and then you say, "Okay, who wants to hang out? I'm at such and such a place, or I'm thinking about going to this club. You want to join me?" And you just kind of.
Exactly.
That's great. Awesome. All right. So before I let you go, is there anything else that, maybe future solo travelers should know that you want to tell them? I mean, obviously they should visit your blog, right? It's
Of course.
travelera.com.
Exactly.
Travelera.com. What, TRAVELEIRA.com?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else
Well,
you want to impart on us?
I think that, and something that you gotta have in mind is that you can't limit yourself. I mean, people just limit themselves because they don't have someone to see at certain place they want to go. And that was something that I didn't let me happen, because I mean, there's so much to see in the world. Why would I be just expecting for someone to join me? It's like, just take the first step. If you find someone who says, "Yeah, I'm going with you," perfect. If not, just go there.
Go
I
for it.
mean, exactly.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, Brenda.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great holiday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.